me tell you about Legend Seeker and how you can support its development while getting some awesome perks. By subscribing to our Legendary tier on YouTube or becoming a paid member on our Discord or Patreon, you'll get early access to all Legend Seeker lore and mechanics. This means you'll be among the first to dive into the world of Legend Seeker and give direct feedback that will help shape the game. But that's not all. Supporters will also be the first to playtest the system and will get exclusive invites to private streams where we discuss the game in detail. Your input will play a huge role in making Legend Seeker the best that it can be. Now, for those of you who love watching our tabletop role-playing game shows, supporting Legend Seeker comes with some fun bonuses for the casts. Here's how it works. If you are a Copper or Common member on Discord or Patreon, you can give a $20 benefit to a player of your choice. Silver and Uncommon members can give 2 benefits to 2 players of your choice. If you go the YouTube route, you can give a $50 benefit to a player of your choice. And for the ultimate support, Gold and Mythic members on Discord and Patreon give a $20 benefit to 3 players of your choice. You can choose from all casts across Moonskull. Every bit of support goes directly towards making Legend Seeker a reality. It helps fund the art, writing, editing, and eventual publishing of the game. So, if you want to be a part of this journey and support our shows, join our Legendary tier on YouTube or become a member on Discord or Patreon. We couldn't do it without you, and we're excited to build Legend Seeker together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the game.
All right, hello everybody. I am Frost, and this is Frost Written, and I'm going to be working on lore for Legend Seeker, the RPG that Erudai is making. And I ate one of the spiciest bits of food I've ever had my entire life today, just a few moments ago. So if I'm sniffling through this entire thing, I apologize. Also, if I look like I got pepper sprayed, I apologize. And also, if I look like a drowned rat. It's been raining all day, and it's been 45 degrees. That's generous, because with the wind chill, it says it was 34 to 37. So, it's been a fun day. But I've got the remnants of a banana strawberry smoothie. I can almost taste it. Yeah, pain, exactly. Who do I yell at for posting every stream for the next month? You got up at 1:30 a.m. today, so you might not make it to the end. Hey, that is fine. And I tend to put people to sleep because I have a soothing voice. I tell myself that's why it is, not because I'm boring. Look, it's Kaio. Flaming Hot Cheeto. No, I got mushroom masala from a local Indian restaurant here. And whenever I get food there in person, or if I go get it delivered, I tell them, make it hot, make it very spicy. Because they have a little meter, I said, just make it spicy. And I like spicy food. Sometimes it really can get to me, but I told Crescent I think they might have gotten tired of me asking for that, because I think they made it like, hey, let's make it the way we make it for ourselves and back. Woo! My tongue is a little sore right now. My tongue is a little sore from it. It's impressive. It's very good, though. Hello over there on Kick This Eccentric. I am not glue. You're right. Thank you, fantastic. Not yet. I'd be hot glue. See what I did there? If I... Were you waiting in the wrong stream? I don't know. Were you, Dave, were you hanging out in the backup stream? Might have been. Talk about clean sinuses. By the way, Crescent, that picture I sent you of the cats on the heating mat, Benji came back to it, and now they're sitting kind of like in a weird formation of loafs, all guarding different directions away from the house. So they're all like on guard, just like, we're loaf sphinxes looking around on the heat mats. Maybe. Good job, Dave. Never ask a Thai, Korean, or Indian place to make it spicy. Yeah, I think I angered them finally by saying make it spicy. I'm just saying, because sometimes I'd get it and say spicy, and they just make it like it just tasted like, I don't know, tomato sauce with some mushrooms or chicken or something. And I was like, oh, this has absolutely no kick whatsoever. So, yep. I made that mistake at a Chinese restaurant that I used to go to all the time. And I had 2 good experiences, but one really bad experience. Because I asked them one time, make me something that they like in the back. And one time I got chicken feet, which I think are disgusting. I've had them before, and I had those, and I was like, oh, I should have probably told them I don't like eating chicken feet. And I'm like, they're pretty good. I told them I don't want those again. But they made me salt and pepper shrimp, which was astounding. It's not even something that was on their menu. I love that. It was so good. It was just very basic and tasty. But they also made me Kung Pao scallops at one point, which was great. Now, they didn't even have scallops on their menu either. It's just something they make for themselves in the back. All you know is the stream said 520. Yeah, there are normals and backups. Yeah, I don't get the whole chicken feet thing. I don't know. Never ask for a spicy things unless it's a mistress. Got it. Understood. Oh, where am I? Oh. So what I've been doing is going through the factions and peoples section and filling in the last few factions and peoples. So I'm working on the people who live in Lost Delacia. These people who are the remnants of the old kingdom. The old theocracy, I should say. The city-state. 1 chip challenge? Yep, I've had the 1 chip challenge. They're hot. They're hot. Oh, I never finished the views on magic in this place. Oh, I'll have to go back and do that. So, in Thalasia, people who cling to their ancient heritage in the former lands of the great Thalassian city-state favor clothing that resists the weather and relentless forces of the oceans. So, I found some really good just reference pictures of like people who work the sea and reenactments and things like that. So what I gave these guys are oilcloth caps that hang low over the back of their necks, normal fisherman hats, but the medieval version. Treated canvas smocks over their regular tunics. Tough boots and leather gloves are a norm for the men who work the sea. Few women work the boats, but their dress is similar, favoring wide hats tied down to their heads with clever oilcloth scarves, leather gloves, layered skirts slit up the sides for ease of movement, and boots similar to the men's for navigating a wet dock or a fishing boat deck. On feast days, I spelled that wrong. Feast days, they wear more traditional Thalassian garb, tunics embroidered with colors of the sea, wide sun hats, and simple sandals. So they kind of go back to their island utopia kind of dress. Scallops are kind of expensive to just have on hand, but chicken feet are okay if you need to thicken up a soup or something. They do. They are. I hate eating chicken feet just to eat them. Blah. Blah. And yeah, scallops, I think they knew somebody somewhere, and they just had them for themselves. I think they knew a guy. Let's see. Traditions. The shrines and temples to Thalassa, I put that in correctly, are large and elaborate, most of them dating back to the times before the God Killer War. Because you have to remember, these people, they lost their ancestral home of the island where Ilaris was during the war, and everyone on the mainland here is kind of just living in the shadow of the remnants of their past. Many of these Yeah, many of these temples feature an elevated tower or pyre that's kept lit year round as a symbolic beacon for those who ply the waves. Martial readiness. Thalasia has its own militia, as most men are ready to fight for their property and people. There's a standing army which is stationed in Pholos under the command of the high priest, numbering some 75 men, not including the paladins of Thalasia. So they have by no means a large force whatsoever, but luckily, nobody really comes at them, except goblins and things. But they have a militia, and they have a standing army, and they have the paladins of Thalassa. So they can take a bunch of people to field. The points of contention mainly are the proximity of Port Castra to Pholos and Seabreak Haven. So Port Castra is just over the mountain here. Are causing cultural friction as of late as the more progressive survivors think they should adopt more modern Agrian ways and throw out the yoke of the past. Now, Port Castra isn't exactly Agrian, but it is an old city that was founded under the Agrian system. So even though it's part of the Caustic Strand, it has that kind of Agrian history and flavor. Staunch defenders of the Thalassian way of life see this as heresy and a weakening of their traditions. You know, traditions. There's a song about it. Views on magic. Thalassians adore magic at its simplest level and enjoy tales of wizards, sea witches, and clerics. Since most commoners can't work a simple cantrip, those who do are greeted with hearty welcomes. So they love the simple, the fun, the tricks, the little bits of magic, the idea of like, oh, magic. Great displays of magic, though. The grammar proper here, punctuation, make them nervous, as it reminds them of what Grix and those who intend evil can do when unfettered. They have few laws regarding the leashing of magical practices. They don't traffic. I rewrote this sentence and forgot a word. While they have few laws regarding the leashing of magical practices, they don't traffic with those who display such power openly. They have an uneasy relationship with the wizards who come to study their kingdom, impressing upon the magical scholars that they best keep their tricks small and out of the eye of most folk if they want to remain as welcome guests. So don't go throwing fireballs around these people. And don't summon elementals the size of a mountain. They will be very upset with you. All right, now I got to go back to the Vale folk in Senna's Fall and figure out their views on magic. And to accept its So the people of the Vale tend to accept most divine magic as welcome and wholesome, especially healing. We'll say divine and nature magic as welcome and wholesome, especially healing. Necromancy. Shows of destructive force. And where did I put that? Oh my gosh, I typed too many G's in that. Could be no G's in there, and I put a lot of G's in it. All right, let's say every magic is frowned upon, though the case has been made that destruction is transformative. All right. Necromancy in particular is, what would the word be, is let's see, her lands. What's the word for that? Okay, necromancy in particular is discouraged as it goes against the positive teachings of Senna, and indeed the lands of the Vale tend to undo such magics rapidly. We're not even going to touch on blood magic because nobody likes blood magic except for a couple people. Well, how's everybody doing this fine day? It is, as I was saying earlier, it's been raining for the last 2 days. And it is now, it is 43 degrees here. Woo! It's a heat wave. So it's been a mess. Not raining and cold here. Whee! So are you saying it's not raining and not cold, or it's not raining but cold? Hello over there in Kick Dave. Heat wave, totally a cold spell. Yeah. Cool and raining there, huh? My cats are loving the fact that I don't unplug the heat mats outside until probably like June. Because they love lying on those things. And I flopped on the couch at lunch. And I opened the back patio door, see if anyone was out there and wanted to come in, and Kibble popped out of the little heated cat house, and she's like, ran in. And she spent the whole lunch hour that I was laying on my side on the couch right here, because she just lays on, you know, my side, my top of my rib cage, as like she likes balancing on a fence, and just laid there, stuck her head under my armpit in an uncomfortable position for me because I'd lay like this, and just sat there going, and her long purrs the way she does it for the whole time I was on the couch. So she had a great lunch. I had a slightly uncomfortable lunch. But she was a very, very happy cat. And very not happy when I had to get up and go back to work. She is an adorable cat. She is so weird because she wants to lay a very specific way, and she wants to headbutt my hand all the time. And if I don't pet her the right way, she's just like, I'm done. All right, now I got all the entries for that and that and that. Okay, what is the next place we're going on to here? The Kyrians. We got to look up some reference for the Kyrians because they're barbarians. I think I'm going to save this picture out really quickly for myself. Where is it going? Into my... where I keep all this. My reference folder. Where did my reference folder go? Where is my super suit? Right. It's images. There we go. Boom. Done. We'll even bookmark this in our writing folder. All right. Hello, Shadow Warden. Pinky cat. Nope. 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 Didn't work. Tried to open something with a middle mouse click, and it decided to start scrolling. It's like, we're going down the hill. I'm like, no, 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 no. Okay. This kind of works. That up. It's an interesting set of clothing. That doesn't look very barbaric at all. That is some weird outfittery. All downhill with these middle ones. Yeah, just scrolling forever. It wouldn't stop scrolling, in fact. That's weird. Okay, that's kind of cool. Just trying to find some good reference for Eastern Islander Oriental type stuff, like ancient types of clothing. There's a good picture. Like the clothing, but it's a good picture of some stuff, some reenactment stuff. Oh, that one's interesting. A little bit Persian, though. Not exactly what we're looking for. So I want to get some of the terminology right, too. I make some of it up, but I want to get some of it at least figured out, basically. Okay, that is a word I need to know. Oh, I opened too many pages. How about I open the same thing on 3 different tabs? Not a good idea. Yeah, that's all fancy stuff. I want peasant clothing. Damn it! There we go. There's some peasant clothing. Oh, they're good. There's some. It's hideous. Okay. Well, hideous, but maybe it's. Okay, that's fantastic. Well, that doesn't look like a real site. We'll just block that site. Not going back to it. Some weird sites like, we're going to try and verify that you're human. For a site with some clothing images? Okay. The internet, it's vast and wonderful. All right, let's find the name of this one. This is... Okay. Don't want to hear music. Okay. All right, that's women's clothing. I'm trying to find some men's clothing that's not just armor. But it looks like a lot of the men's dress is very similar, just involves hat, which is interesting. All right, one last thing we're going to look for here. Oop. All right, here we go. This is more what I was looking for. All right, that's a cool outfit. Dang it, I did the middle mouse thing again. Crap. There's a lot of interesting stuff out here, but not all of it makes a whole lot of sense for, like, what people would be wearing in this area and adventurers and stuff. Okay. And those people are amazingly wearing beads. Okay, that doesn't really help. Just a clothing site. Exactly. It's just a clothing site. It's not totally a spyware site that's taking all my info or anything like that. It's probably fine. Um, let's look for male clothing specifically. Put that one there. This is a very layered thing. That kind of works. This looks medieval. Okay, good. Let's go get this one. Let's see. What does it have in here? Don't want to see the preferences. I don't want any of this stuff. I still never understood how people walked around in those wooden shoes. Never really got that. Interesting. Hey, Cajun Corey. All right, dress. All right. Bath beads. No, not that kind of beads. These were like big necklaces and breastplates, just covered in beads. Light pants, tunics, and belts, accents, colors denoting clan affiliations. Um, Affiliation. Did I spell that right? Along with ah, along with wide or sloped hats to keep themselves dressed. So males tend to dress in light pants, tunics, and belts with accents and colors denoting their clan affiliations. Cloaks and ponchos are worn in the rainy seasons along with wide or sloped hats to keep themselves dry. It's rare to see a Kyrian male armed. Okay. What do you call that? For saying maybe you know, what do you call like a thin veil of like cloth or something that you kind of lay over your head like a shawl? I suppose you wear them around your shoulders, but if you were to toss it over your head, I've seen them in like a lot of different cultures. They wear them, and it's literally just like another top part of a dress or something, and they'll just pull it up over their head for just cover from the sun or something. I don't know. They turned off the boilers at your work. My office is cold. No! Shawl or veil. Okay, I was using the right words then. Thank you. You're getting the, what is that stupid Bruce Springsteen song, the 10th Avenue Freeze Out? A burqa! No, not a burqa. No. These people are barbarians in the jungles here. It's more along the lines of Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Pacific Islander type clothing. Oops. unusual for female carriers to openly carry arms, and it's quite fashionable to have blades and other weapons hidden in plain sight amongst their accessories. Okay. From. Yep. Have 50% off Uber Eats, so ordered some UWW Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm guessing, and made me think about a recent lawsuit we heard about. Oh no, was it somebody getting killed by a chicken bone? What? So scared. I did have a friend who was eating wings at a place. And they're the wing drummies, but they're also the little parts of the wing. And they're playing around with the wings, like, look at the little bones. And he broke the bone, and it cut the little bit of bone went right through the little webbing between his fingers, and he's like, ah! And so he's like bleeding all over the table. He's like, crap. Like, that's what you get for playing around at the table, dork. He didn't sue the restaurant, weirdly enough, because he was doing something stupid. I was surprised that he managed to do that perfectly. I was like, it's pretty good. Good job, bud. Yeah, not fun. And also because chicken bones, they can be, very small and splintery. He went to urgent care to make sure there was no little pieces of chicken bone stuck in his finger, because he's like, I don't really want to die from an infection from a chicken bone between my fingers. Smart man. After the fact. Okay. One of the aliens are home clan. It's quite difficult for the Legion of Earth to accept me. Favorite the new one. There. Interesting society you're describing. I like societies. Well, these people are over here. Let's go back out a little bit. This is this peninsula of land, all the way from Karthdal all the way down. Though technically, they control all this up here. Most of everything happens down the lower end between Karthdal and south, but they own all the way up to Kish up here and Ukelos, so they have technically domain over all this place, but they don't really do as much up in the north. because it's mostly mountains. But the Boar clan over here does a lot of stuff. It's just they're a little different than the rest of the Kyrians. And they also have to contend down here. The Monkey clan and the Heron clan and everyone in the Leopard clan have to deal with Zanatha, the jungle, where all the horrifying monsters still live. Damn you, wizards! Was it gore? It was not gore. No. No, Dave, it was not. All right, Kyrians take clan affiliations quite seriously, and if one alienates their home clan, it's quite difficult for the leaders of another clan to accept them, even if they alienated their original clan in favor of the new one. So they don't really enjoy. They enjoy the fruits of betrayal, but they don't want that betrayer with them. They're like, well, we can't trust you. Good job, thanks. Get out of here. More than one wandering Kyrian warrior had to turn the rest of the godlands and ply their trade as a mercenary after being disgraced in their homeland. Let's see. Let's say has had turn their rest. Okay. Martial readiness. Making shows of. Estimated that most clans call more than 1,000 warriors in short notice. So I said if sent to all their lands. They're interested in lands outside their own for the most part. Borders. Koreans are uninterested in lands outside their own for the most part, preferring to stay within their own borders, as is their tradition. Not other lands. Okay. Points of contention. Kyrians mainly have internal conflicts with the clans vying for Kiru. Rare occasions that they had to deal with other threats. Will come from the cursed jungles of Uh, Signal on tonight, or am I going to be utterly disappointed? Additionally, I found out why animal emergency care has ballooned in price. The rise in pet insurance has allowed them to raise rates. Ah, that sucks. Signal starts up next week and will be every other Tuesday. Ah, okay. Jacob is still prepping. Got it, got it, got it. Monsters and magics of the ancient wizards continue to plague them. I really can't wait, and I'm starting to write some notes down. I can't wait to get more information together. Start writing some stuff up for Erudai and whoever else is going to work on it about more specific places in the jungle of Zenatha and the Umbral Atoll. I'm going to redo the map of the Umbral Atoll so it doesn't look like a giant sat his butt down in the ocean and made an imprint. Thanks, Tomix. Thanks, Sant. I thought it looked cool. And you guys had to have 6th grade like humor. But I love it, and that's why I'm happy we're doing this up, because if you guys think of it, somebody on the internet will think of it. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, Butt Island. Butt Island. Damn it. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I think I have a map in here. Let's see. Yep, here it is. Here's the main. It's this whole chain of islands. I had the storm and everything here, but I moved it back to this. And this is the Umbral Atoll, where they said it looked like a giant sat his butt down right here in Cheek 1, Cheek 2. So guess what I'm gonna change? But we are just somebody on the internet. There you go. So yeah, I had created an entire island chain and all these bits and pieces, but I started playing around with the Umbral Atoll. I might go more with this kind of a shape, but I'm gonna play around with it. I'm just gonna bend a few pieces back and forth and stuff. Chat working? I see chat. 527 on a bi-weekly cadence. Three cheeks, Meggie. I don't want to know. All right, we're gonna go back to the other map. There you go. So yeah, once I get that done, I'm trying to figure out if I can actually put the Umbral Atoll on this map properly, because I haven't found a way to move the stuff back and forth easily. So I'm trying to figure out if I can import it as a shape or not, because it didn't seem to want to work, and I might have to redo it completely. That does suck. Beelan, how you doing about that, by the way? How are you doing? How are you handling it? It is very tough. Okay, what did I just get? Message about. Okay, you can do a shared hype train on Twitch now. Okay. Okay. Excellent. All right, where was I at here? The views on magic. Time to cremate. Up, all right, most Karens are comfortable with magic, so they tend to view the practitioners as second or third class citizens. Let's see. You think you're a flower on the internet, or you're a flower on the internet? I think I'm a pun on the internet. Oceans are just toilets. Well, your animal's time to go because you're really dead. I'm actually doing better now. Yeah. Well, and it's tough because I've had to put down cats where they're like, you can try this, but we can't tell you how to get this medicine for your cat because it's illegal for us to tell you. But if you were to go on the internet, you could find a Facebook group where you could actually meet somebody in a parking lot and give them $1,000 for doses of this medicine that might, maybe help your cat. But we can't do that, and we can't tell you to go do that. And there's no guarantee that it'll actually work. And you may end up spending $3,000 to $5,000 on it and find out it's doing nothing but, costing you money. And at that point, like that cat, I had to end up putting her down. And they were very nice about it. The people were very sad about it because she was such a sweet cat, and they were very broken up about it because they don't like doing that ever. But she'd been sick for a while, and they asked if I wanted to be in the room, and I said yes. And they're like, yeah. Oh, really? Okay, because I guess 90% of the people that come in there, they said, don't want to be in there. And so I just held on to her until she passed. And the nurses were bawling, and I'm like, it's okay. It's, she's at least not in pain anymore. And it was tough. It was very tough. I don't like it. That's part of owning a pet that I don't love. But it was, in the long run, probably better for her because she had no quality of life at all. She was mostly sitting in a little kitty cat bed on my bed every day, just listless and unable to do much of anything. Ugh. But when I can do something for my cats, I do it. Like I was telling those guys, my cat Charlie, I was very sad if he was actually lost because I love Charlie, but also that, he's the cat that I've spent the most money on. He's like my $5,000 cat because he had a lot of emergency room things when he was a little kitten. But he's a healthy cat nowadays. Even if he goes off for a week on his own and doesn't come back. Jerk. Surgery's about 10,000. Yeah, that's nope. Eating the passages happened. Yeah, I was in the vet's office when I took Clary in there, my little calico cat. Regarding not staying with my first dog when she was put down, I didn't have much of a choice because my brother took me and refused to stay. Oh, wow. That's not good. Blue cheese or ranch with buffalo wings? I'm going to say ranch, weirdly enough. Because blue cheese is okay, but blue cheese can have such an overpowering taste that it can really change the taste of the wing. That's why I like ranch, because if I put a little bit of it on, it's tangy, and that's about it. That way I can taste the hot and the pain and all the other parts of the wing. I used to eat blue cheese dressing like it was going out of style on salads and everything when I worked in a kitchen. Uh, and I think I overdid it, because now I'm like, oh, blue cheese. No. Don't mind blue cheese if it's a creamy kind, but I prefer ranch now. Yeah. That's like redhead, soulless. Wow, Dave. Definitely not saying you can mix petrol and to make your something stickier, but we've heard some people do that. Yeah. I thought it was funny that they were talking about the all that stuff last night, and they were talking about lock picking and everything, and I'm just like, oh, okay, yep. You had a vet con you and do not putting your dog down only to have it die in the middle of the night. Oh, you only like blue cheese with wings, so sometimes I go for ranch. See, I've had blue cheese on a lot of stuff, and blue cheese with wings is okay. The weirdest thing I've ever had blue cheese on that was really good was a burger. It was a peppercorn burger with blue cheese on top. It was crusted. The burger was crusted with peppercorn, and yeah, that was pretty good. You're a ginger chemotherapy. Ah, that's horrible. Um, wow, wow. You want to hear the most disgusting thing with ranch that I've ever heard of? A milkshake, a vanilla milkshake with ranch dressing in it. My friend's wife, when she was pregnant with their first kid, wanted blue cheese, but couldn't stand it. Wanted ranch, couldn't stand it. And she kept trying. She's like, I really want this. And she'd eat it and be like, hmm. So he blended it in. He got like concrete mixers and milkshakes and stuff and mixed a little bit in and reblended it at home. And she's like, oh my God, this is so good. Now she can't stand the taste of either one of them. When she was pregnant, she wanted either one of those, and it worked in a milkshake. And I'm just like, you lost me there, dude. No, thank you. So wrong. Even I won't go there. Even I. Some lines you just don't cross. There is ranch flavored ice cream. Yeah, I've had it. I don't like it. I've had garlic ice cream, which is better. I had the hottest mushroom masala I've ever had in my life just a little while before this. So I'm still sniffling from it because I had them make it spicy the way they make it at the restaurant. I just said, make it spicy, and I think they took that to heart or said they were going to hurt me. They're like, we're tired of this guy. Hurt him. Hurt him. And I'm still sniffling from it. And that was, what, an hour and something ago? Like, oh my gosh. Ah. All right, so we got all of these filled out for these places. Okay. Kiru, Centaur, Lost Acadia, and the Azure Kingdom. Yeah. There was gonna be thought I had a like that. Boop. Trigger being a pregnancy craving, I've heard they just get weird. Yeah, Sounds gross. Not grape jelly on a burger. Okay. Um, Now, when we make a crock pot full of spicy meatballs for a party, we'll make all the meatballs, or some people will buy the frozen ones and throw them in there. They'll throw, barbecue sauce and hot sauce and all that stuff in there, but they'll throw an entire container of grape jelly in there because it's thick. It gives a little sweetness to it, but it really absorbs all the flavors and makes the sauce really thick. And I thought that was a disgusting idea when I first saw it. I was like, but it usually works out pretty well. So that's hamburger and grape jelly with a lot of other stuff. Meatballs in a crock pot. Oh, yeah. You take an entire crock pot and you fill it, like 2 pounds of meatballs. You just make the small ones and you just put them in the sauce and hot peppers. We, snip up dried hot peppers. We throw jalapenos in there and you just slow cook it for hours. And then, you open it up and you're like, get, pepper sprayed in the face when you open it. And you start eating the little cocktail meatballs, like, grab some on a plate and eat them. And you're like, I'm dying. These are so good, but I'm dying. Meatballs exist in every culture in the world. They're just Italian. What? Powerlifter added additional protein to his diet by adding tuna fish to PB&J sandwiches. Okay, so I think it's pretty disgusting. My friend who did lift would eat peanut butter and jelly with tuna or salmon, and I was just, oh no. He stated the jelly masked the fish flavor. Really? Huh. Yep, you brown them up or bake them, however you want to do it, or get the pre-cooked ones or frozen ones, whatever, and just toss them in a crock pot and then slow cook them with all the hot stuff. Or not hot if you don't like hot. There's some cool pages out here I found that have really nice drawings of like armies and people in armor and stuff, which is what I'm browsing through as we're looking at this. Some of them are pretty cool. Kind of like those old flat books you could buy at the wargaming store, the Angus McBride type books, where they have all the arms and armor and everything. There's some cool stuff in here. Different types of armor. That one's pretty crazy. Can't really see anything on it because it's such a tiny little image, but huh. And that's all in Spanish, and I can't read any of it. Yeah, they were the Osprey books, I think. Trying to find, let me look up Osprey books. Yeah, Osprey books. There we go. Man, I love those. I used to have a few of these. Specifically like Greek and Roman ones. They were pretty neat. Whatever happened to those? Not much crockpot can't do. You are correct. That is so true. Too hot tastes bad. You never thought you were dying from good food? Almost made you barf. I'm sorry, history eraser button. Sorry. By the way, someday I'm gonna run a game for people in my probably just on Roll20 or something, just for a small group of people off screen, not a game that people would play online and watch. But I'm trying to decide if I'm doing Dresden Files Accelerated Or if I'm gonna go, because I went and found these, let me take my headphones off so I don't rip my head off. Actually, I don't even need my headphones on because I don't have my music running. I went and dug up some of my old books. And let's see, what year is this from? This is from 1977. This is an original traveler book. 44 pages. It's falling apart. It's the space RPG. So, book 1 is characters in combat. Book 2 is, I think, starships, worlds and adventures. This one, unfortunately, got bitten by a, I don't know, a mouse or something. Or a dog, I don't know. The book 4, Mercenary. Book 5, High Guard. And they've reissued these so many times over the years. They're like in big books now. But I just love these. This is a game where you can die in character creation if you push your luck. I love it. It's such a good old system. I love those things. That was the first sci-fi game that I ever played. Well, actually, no, second one. The first one I played was Gamma World. But that was right after it. And the first character I ever made, they didn't really tell me because they wanted to see what I do. I kept pushing and going and like, oh yeah, I'll do one more tour. I'm going to do this. Oh, my guy's going to be a little older, but oh, I got a chance to get in this. Oh, that's cool. And he died. Like, damn it. I didn't know I could die in character creation. They're like, oh yeah. So my second guy, I stopped after a couple of tours and was like, okay, good enough. So yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see. What was I doing here? Oh, right. I was researching some more outfits and things because I wanted to add a couple more notes over there. These are that one is Southeast Asian Special Forces. That's not going to be helpful. Oh, there's a samurai one. Okay. Oh, my friend had that one. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember this one. Oh, that's a cool one. Huh, I don't even know what that picture's of, but it's neat. Yeah, these were always cool because they show, the ideas of the tactics, siege weapons, how the clothes was, or the armor and things were layered, what they were good against, weapon wise, what they weren't good against, weapon wise. The Elite Series Samurai Osprey book. Angus McBride. He must have been a busy guy because, I mean, he worked on so many of those damn books. Dying character creation. We need a rude eye to play this. Oh, that would be hilarious. Yep. Because you, in that game, you start out, you choose a career, and every time you, I think in the old version here, if this is the one, you do a term, you get drafted, you do terms of service, and then you have a survival role, and then you retire. So that's material benefits, acquired skill tables. Yeah, so every time you go in here, you have a chance of like acquiring skills. You have a table of ranks that you go through. You have numbers that you roll based on your stats. And you have a chance in every one of them, like, hey, you face some danger. And then if you don't make the roll, you're like, oh, you may have gotten injured. If you don't roll well, you're like, oh, dead. So, yeah. And it was weird because, I mean, here's their range table. It was very basic back then. You didn't need tons and tons and tons of explanations for all kinds of stuff. You just made your character and went for it. And you went for it. You want to play Death Game? Death Game. Thing is, they had guns. They had like all kinds, laser weapons and crazy stuff. But they had the FGMP 14, which was a fusion gun, man portable, tech level 15, which was like the epitome of like the highest of high end weapons. And it's a backpack sourced minigun kind of thing where it has a battery pack on your back. You walk around and it's literally a fusion cannon. Everybody's like, I want an FGMP 15. Like, good luck finding a tech level 15 world, dude. You're a tech level 9, and that's pretty advanced. You're a tech level 12. That's pretty advanced. So, it's fun stuff. I just, I like role-playing games. They're fun. Pretty good. Oh, no. I realized why my eye was starting to bother me. Guess who had probably a flake or a speck of his dinner on his fingernail? This guy, who now has really spicy something in the corner of his eye. This guy. Oh, well. I've done it before. I'll do it again. It's not the first time that I've gotten spicy food in my eye. Okay. Anyway. I'll just be in pain for a while. It's okay, doo-dah, doo-dah. I touch my eye. I'm really good at this. I'm the best. I make the best choices. In a few moments, I'm going to be checking on the cats anyway, so I'll go and I'll grab a paper towel and I'll just put a little aloe or something on it. Flush the edge of my eye out. The good thing is I'm totally set for when I get pepper sprayed eventually. Bad news is I'm totally set for when I get pepper sprayed eventually. Hey. All right. We got this for all these people. I found an image. I saved it off. I'm not going to change what I wrote there, but I might add to it. I don't know. I'm going to decide. Oops. Oh, that's not what I'm going. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. All right. I'm just going up here to see if I have any areas that are not filled in. Okay. If you see me scrolling a lot, watch your eyes. Don't be like me. All right. Ari and Asa. Okay. Casimir. Have you seen the competition in India where they shove as many hot peppers in their eyes as possible? No. How do you shove hot peppers in your eyes? You mean touch your eyes with a hot pepper or what? You, a rude-eyed eccentric, could make a good 30-minute game, Dave. It would be very funny. And you're all dead. Stop resisting. I'm not resisting. I put hot sauce in my coffee. I'm immune. Exactly. I just don't care. I just don't care. You're not hurting me. What? Okay. It suddenly switched from samurai pictures to a poster of Helmut Newton's wife. Like, thanks, Pinterest. Let's go back to samurai armor. The hell? And then now the next thing is the Anglo-Boer War Blockhouses, a field guide by Simon Green. Huh. Oh, this is a cool picture. Oh, I'm saving that reference picture. Oh, this took me in a totally bizarre direction for building reference. I like it. some cool round buildings, like Chinese round buildings, ancient buildings in ancient cities. Huh. Funky. Yeah, I'm saving those out. Those are pretty cool looking. I love round buildings. I just think they're cool. All right. There's another picture of those round buildings. Really funky. Okay, cool. All right, I got some more reference. I got reference to things I wasn't even looking for reference for, which is neat. That's a cool one too. That is just somebody made a picture, an image. I'm looking for actual architectural reference for this building before I go back to the stuff I was looking at. You can get me off on a tangent with architecture really quickly. Okay, the temple at Abu Simbel. Okay. Go back in there. I've totally gone off on a tangent here. Yeah, I don't understand. Helmut Newton was a photographer, right? So maybe it was because people can put stuff in their, what do you call them? On Pinterest, their collections or albums. Is that what they are? I think they're albums. And I'm assuming somebody just had something weird in their setup. I don't know. Or they added that picture accidentally. Like maybe they clicked on add to collection or something. I don't know. It was just weird. Just some lady walking down the street. Whatever. Okay, that's just a bunch of weird maps people made. Got off of the. Huh. The Death of Drawing Architecture in the Age of Simulation by David Ross Shear. Okay. Huh. Interesting. I'm getting off on a tangent here. All right, I'm going to quickly go check on cats. So, would you guys rather have a chair to stare at, or would you rather have, let me fix that, the end screen, waiting screen, be right back screen? Which would you rather have? I guess it wasn't a competition, but Anandita Dutta Tarmuli set a world record doing it. Okay. Okay, the cats are making all kinds of motions. Maybe they're getting up to go do evening stuff. Oh, they're snuggling down. Oh, they're just loafing. They're just loafing back up. And you might not be able to see this too well, but it's just fuzzy cat butts. Camera, do it. Do your job. There you go. Black and white. Cat butts on the back patio. They're just sitting on the heating mat, just like, like when you see monkeys in hot springs. Chair stream? All right, chair stream it is. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to go check on everything. I shall return. Sailor Moss. No, no Sailor Moss. We're not having a Sailor Moss. No. No. To disappear into the ether here. No, now that I think about it, I might make myself a coffee. I gotta reach back in here and find my coffee cup. Where's my coffee cup? There it is. All right. Coffee is made and sitting on the little coffee heater. You guys are deprived of just a chair. Back to having me. Cats are all happy. I gave them a little food. Can always make a VTuber avatar. No. Never. I just put a little person like on a stick or a napkin here and just draw them on here and put them on screen. Done. It'll just be literally a stick figure person. Bestest chair stream. Copycat chair stream. Woo! I could get the angry wizard emoji. That's true. I could just put the angry wizard emoji up. I just put this here. I go to here. Okay, machine. You do my bidding, machine. Do what I say. Let's see. There we go. We'll just put that there. It'll just be me. Perfect, right? Who needs me? And make it even bigger. Oops. Who needs to see what I'm doing? Just angry wizard. There we go. In true millennial, classic millennial faction. Thank you very much. Nothing changed. Thanks, Dave. I like it. And nothing of value was lost. Yeah, I don't think I have. I should find out where JT and everyone does all their merchandising, and just make a sticker. Sell a sticker. It'll be perfect. Boop, boop, boo. I'm surprised Erudai has not made, or maybe he did, and I don't know about it. Just made Legend Seeker shirts. Just, nice Legend Seeker logo here on the back or something. Because I know one of the things that JT made, or I think, oh no, JT didn't make those, or did he? I can't remember whose store they were in. The wanted posters for the characters on the pirate show. I don't remember. Maybe JJ made those, but they were evidently really large stickers. Shh. Talk to Dreaming Tabitha. I could do that. NDA. I don't know. I think he could probably make a shirt. Now that he's got the copyright for it, he should probably be able to do that. What in the world are the cats doing out there now? They're just, I'm guessing they're just getting resettled. They're trying to decide who's sitting where on what part of the mat, who's got their face near whose face and whose butt, who's sitting where. They are loving the heat mat today. They're just like, this is perfect. We get to be outside and smell all the air and hear all the things and be like toasty warm. When I picked Kibble up earlier, she just felt like a little toasted loaf of bread. She was so happy. By the way, if you guys hadn't heard, George Wendt, who played Norm on Cheers, died at 75, 76. So here's to George Wendt, to Norm. Norm! Yep. Yep. Like, exactly. Not norm. Wanted shirts are great. Nice. Bum. That's funny. Somebody somebody put a tweet out. Somebody named Luca Lemonfield said, and they said VTubers can't cook. I sure showed them, and there's a hot dog that looks like it was, blistered by a torch in certain areas and just not cooked in others in a bun. Like, huh, huh, hmm. All right. Okay. So, all right. And lost my other page. Where is my other page? I have too many tabs open, and they're on different pages now because it opened up some of them up in separate pages. So, um, I would like to at some point, though it's not incredibly important, get a few pictures together for erudite on my takes on some of the architectural styles that people would see in different parts of the world in the Godlands. Um, I'll listen to that later. I can't listen to it right now. Uh, just so there's an idea if any more art gets made. Okay, so that's a cool one. Okay. The grandiose stuff in some of these pictures. And this all stemmed out of me looking for some clothing ideas for different factions and groups. And that's part of the fun of world building is getting to look for all this stuff and then taking a note and saying, hey, an earthen rampart kind of idea, but not like uh Iron Age. It's well past that, but not quite advanced as, the Romans and not there, not this, and picking and choosing some things to try and get them sort of lined up together to make some realistic ideas without everything feeling just like completely just ridiculously made up. That's why it's nice to have a basis of an idea. Like, hey, it's based off of Roman stuff. Okay, there we go. That's a cool picture. I'm saving lots of little pictures out because there's some cool pictures that people have saved, and it makes me think that somebody has been doing some research for their campaigns and stuff. That's a pretty funky, and the perspective of some of these drawings is killing me, though. Killing me. Killing me, man. If you ask Tabitha, maybe not tell her I sent you. There was an Alt F4 incident. Oh yes. And when I went over there and jumped into her stream, did we visit her yesterday? I think it was yesterday when I hopped in there. He was working on Sevi and her and Boss and Nomi in a drawing. I don't understand why those little, what do they call them, chibis? Why those existed and why people like them, but people seem to like them a lot. But they exist. They do, in fact, exist. They look a little strange to me because their proportions are all off, which is supposed to be the reason. Okay, that's just a random picture. I went too deep down a rabbit hole here. I ended up in a completely different part of Pinterest. It was no longer buildings, it was architectural drawing styles, which are cool, but Well, that's quite an interesting place. Looks like something from a Muka painting. And the problem with Instagram stuff is 90% of this stuff isn't even like labeled as like, what is this? From like some weird futuristic game world or something. I don't know. It's not from Dune. Pretty funky though. It says AI modified. Okay, so some of these have been modified. You always wanted to be Norm? Just hanging out at the bar, dispensing some wisdom. Just it's going to be hilarious. Just big head, eyes is cute. Sure, if you like deformed people. I'm just saying. My, what a big head you have. Yep, birth defect. No, it's cute. Environment illustration AI style. Okay, so yeah, people are just using AI to make all kinds of weird stuff out here. Huh. I like a couple of these little ideas, like size relationships wise. Usually that's why I save pictures out if like they have a good step of monumental down to how the people fit into the picture. Because if there's no size reference, a lot of these drawings are like, okay, that's an interesting drawing, but it doesn't really help me. Dun, 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 dun. All right. And I think I will stop with this one. This is that's kind of a cool picture, an idea. It makes me think of a Mike Mignola drawing. Interesting. They must have borrowed from his art style. Oh yeah. I mean, that's a Mike Mignola drawing that somebody threw an anime character into. Why would you wreck his stuff? Why? 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 Huh. Huh. All right. All right, I've got the information for that. Now, if I go back to here, because I was looking at I was trying to figure out how I wanted to typify the city of Göteborg, because one of the next things I'm going to do is what I did for Knetzef and Zandria. I'm going to take the other capitals and I'm going to delineate the parts and the bits and the pieces of the place. Like, is it a fort? Is it on a hill? You know, are there different parts of the city? All that stuff. Percent just shrugs. I think Chibi is a product of the Pokemon generation. Cute monsters. I put in my Discord a little video of two dudes who are like just completely like nerding out opening Pokemon cards, and they rip the thing open. They're like rip the packs, like just throw them on the ground when they don't get what they want. They're ripping another one open. They're like fingering through them, like throw them on the ground. Like, I'm pretty sure it was a parody, but I'm not 100% sure it was a parody. And I'd said, this is, guys have Pokemon. Adult men have Pokemon like this. I guess that's the equivalent to women having all the smut the smut books. Okay. And let's see. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. I'm trying to find. A good reference for this. That's a little extreme, but I kind of like it. Trying to find a good reference for what Göteborg could kind of look like, because it doesn't have a lot of water around it. It does have natural water, but it doesn't have a river or anything. Which reminds me, I need to add a river in here. And I think it's going to have to be. I think it's going to have to come down from here through Thornwald, because it's going to have to go down and past this. Because some of these places don't have like a major water source, which is, kind of difficult to survive as people. So let's look here. Let's see what we got. What do we have for width? We got a little bit too wide here. So if we were to start up here, and we're coming on down through, we go across there, and we're going down. We'll move these hills around a little bit. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. That's the only problem with making a long river. Gotta have a lot of room. All right, let's keep going here. We'll start up in this area. Go there. We'll bring it along here. I think what we'll do is we'll take it past here. We'll have it widen out, and it max into there. Because then we've got the river coming down through. We've got water at the foot of Barg. We'll move a few hills around here so these hills aren't in the way. We'll go to our symbols. Move a couple of these guys around. Up here. These over here. And move these trees over so they're not in the river. Then we've got an actual water source for this place. Okay. Frozen coffee milkshake with Bailey's. Well, you know what? I got nothing. I have no alcoholic frozen coffee milkshake with Bailey's. I've got hot coffee. That's all I can offer. And a residual sniffle from all the hot sauce, or not hot sauce, but all the hot food I had for dinner. Woo. All right, this way they can have a river contained. That would go down. Oops. Okay. Okay, in the middle of all these forts, there's just some weird, it's like an old Japanese, like a woodcut with the painting of, a samurai, but it's just some girl who is dressed sort of like a samurai with tattoos all over her. But she looks like she's from like 2025. There, okay. What is this? This is kind of a cool little building. That doesn't really help me with the fortress. It's not really a Mott and Bailey. It would be... kind of is, but it kind of isn't. That makes sense right there. This kind of an idea, but yeah, we'll just put it down. We'll just save it as a piece of reference, and we'll do that. Take the coffee in true residual snipple style. Yes. I will survive-ish. Okay. It's an interesting idea, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay, that's just somebody making buildings specifically for games. I'm looking for actual recreations of old forts and towns and things. That's kind of a neat one. It's very medieval, though. Like almost Renaissance. Yeah, I don't think they had one of those in reality. That's interesting, though. The settlement. I like the idea of like the Golden Hall, you know, the big hall on the hill, but it's so limited because it's literally just a hall. I'm thinking more like some of the towns that I've seen representations of places that, you know, the Romans attacked and they took down. But I'm also looking at Roman hill towns. All right. Roman fort. So when we look at a lot of these, you're going to get the early, the middle, the late, and they're a little bit too impressive. I'm going to have to take parts and ideas. So when I write this up, it's going to have flavor because these cities do have the ancient Agrian towers in them, but they've built the city out of the walls and inside the walls and rebuilt things. And they've had to do their own stuff. Okay, that one's kind of interesting. That's a very good idea of what I'm looking at. Okay. That's a very strange looking place, though. I think some of these are people recreating old towns with 3D. Yeah, it's using 3D and AI to try and recreate some of these. Okay, got it. Interesting. And then finally, I'm looking at some of the old villas that they had because they built them in so many different countries and in so many different places that they have just this wide variety of ideas and layouts and how they grew. I was like, that one is impressive. Holy cow, that's quite a villa. Oof. That person must have had some money. I mean, it's Hadrian, so he had money. Yeah. But I'm looking for the idea of a hill. Actually, a number of hills. Because it'd be kind of fun for it to have a hill connected by another hill with a bridge going between them. and parts of the city built down around the base of the hills and in and around the hills with the outer fortifications on the outside. Not massive hills, just tall enough for, that you'd need to climb up them if you wanted to get up to them or take the little road up to them. Not a convenient hill, let's put it that way. Okay, interesting. Yeah, some of these pictures, perspective, it's so hard for them. Yeah, yeah. Had to step away for a while. Like collecting Pokemon cards, but not going to pay a scalper 2 to 3 times manufacturer's suggested retail price for limited run cards, let alone base set. Need to do something about those scalpers. Yeah, I've watched some videos of people going in and just getting a cart and going up to like the Pokemon machines and stuff and just sitting there and emptying them out because they're gonna go sell them to people. I'm like, okay. And the fact that people will go in there, they'll just pick the thing up and just throw this stuff on the ground like, I don't even want these. Okay. They're still worth something, right? Like, even if they're pennies? Maybe? All right, I'm getting off on another tangent because that page took me to the wrong kind of forts and hills and things. It's just wandering across the world in hill forts. And this one is taking me down into crazy Roman fantasy land, or I don't know what these people are even making here. Bizarre little things. So this is a cool little fortress here. That's kind of cool. Where is this? This is an old Russian fort. Kind of interesting. Not that interesting now. This one's cool. That's kind of a fun idea. It doesn't fit the vibe at all of something where horse lords and people who are enjoying the free run of their woods and plains. But it is kind of neat. I'm getting a good amount of reference and I'm getting a good idea in my head now. Just looking at the shape of some of these hills and things is kind of fun. I wish that Tiny Glade program that I was using could make better representations of things like that, but might be able to build something small in there and play around with it. That is just an abomination. Okay, I don't know what that is. That was a Viking samurai fort or something like that. That was just weird. Don't like it, sir. Don't like it. All right. That's just some people fighting in an arena. Has absolutely nothing to do with what I put in for my search. Okay. All right. That's people getting killed by a flood. Got it. People screaming when the flood's coming in. Run! We couldn't have possibly seen this coming. Atlantis is gone. We're all gonna die. All right, and I'm gonna. Oh well, actually, maybe that's a good reference piece. Let's see. Let's zoom in on it. Sort of, but it also kind of doesn't really help. Oops. Spell that right. Otherwise, I'll probably get some bizarre. Who knows what I'd get when I search if I did that. All right, good. Okay, this one has a good idea. All right. That one kind of works. And that one's a little high, though. There's a few pictures I've seen of Mott and Bailey castles that are pretty cool, but one of them was like the really tall, a really tall spot for the keep. Like super weird tall. Not exactly what we're going for this idea. I definitely like the idea of wooden fortifications on the outside, interspersed amongst the actual stone towers that are still existing from the old Agrian stuff. Getting that kind of point across is going to be a little tricky. Because if I look at it, I've got it pretty much the confluence of all these roads. We're going to have roads coming in different directions. There's the big hill. So we'd have the this end of it would have the higher end. All the things would come in this way, and if they come up, they go up. Okay, that could work. Well, let's see. I'm gonna move these hills out of the way of the road there a little bit. Okay, I got an idea of how I'd have it situated, and let's see. This goes out to so that's not a. It's a major-ish road, but it only goes out to the fortress. This goes up to Velt and then heads. Yeah, and then heads up through the pass. The main roads are here and here. So the main roads would come in here. The secondary roads would come in there. And then they would all go up to the part on the hill. And then they would filter back down. So the majority of everything would be down in the city part. The fort and the main ruling buildings would be down there. And on this side over here would be the docks and the fishing areas and everything down here. A couple of these hills around a little bit. That hill there. That hill there. Make it a little smaller. This, oops. Make that a little smaller. Grab this tree. Move it behind and over there. And just move these around a little bit so you can see that there's the path of the river through here. Map a little bit here. Hills down a little bit. Move the trees up and away a little bit. These hills down a little bit more. Make the massive hills out here a little bit less massive. Make the edge of the forest a little lower. And I'm trying to do this while I'm going through and making the trailing edge of forests where the smaller trees are, just, because it shows, the edge of the tree or edge of the forest is growing out here as opposed to, the main part of the forest. Anyway, mythic characters. There are mythic characters out here. I've got the idea for my mythic character, which I'm going to chat with the Rudai about. Finally home, time to clean the kitchen, then make it dirty again, then clean it again. It's a vicious cycle, Kaio. And Chrysan says, the endless cycle. Woo! Yeah, I did put something spicy in my eye, and I wiped it out, and it's been okay since then. Oh, I should look at time here. Oh, I'm almost out of time. I'm sitting here pining, thinking, playing around with stuff, and then realizing that I probably should look at the time, huh? Look at the time. All right, let's go to paths. We're going to grab this, and we're going to see. Can I move that without messing it up? Let's see here. Not easily, no. Okay, well, we'll leave it alone for the moment. We may reform this one. It's pretty much there. And I don't have to do this perfectly because, honestly, this is going to get redone by someone eventually. So, but yeah. Right. So, I am going to be checking here quickly because I don't think my game is happening tonight. So I may be playing some more, what do you call it tonight? The more get frustrated at the designers of bad missions in GTA Online. You know, like I do. All right. Looks like, yeah, my game is off. Oh, boop. GTA 5 or online. Exactly. Won't be here Thursday because my niece graduation is that night. Ah, okay. Well, Cage Corey, you have a good time with that. And I will be back. Oh, it used to be fun to go to Magic the Gathering informal tourneys to see someone with an all common, uncommon deck. Just trash the deck. Someone had spent hundreds of dollars for special cards. That would be fun. GTA 6, yeah, it'd take me a little while, like 10 years or so. So, I'll be busy for a while. Wahaha. All right, I'm going to close that, and I'm going to close that. I'm going to save this off. Boom. And I am going to get the heck out of here. So, thank you all for coming on by. I am Frost, and this has been Frost Written, where I'm working on the lore for Legend Seeker RPG. I am going to be back here on Thursday again doing more of this. And if you want to see more fun on Moonskull Wednesday night, tomorrow night, I'll be over there with the gang. And then on Friday, we're doing Strange Eons on Moonskull as well. But after this, I'm not having my real life game, so I'm probably going to hop online and stream and play something. So I will see you then. Leave a like, leave a comment. I'll talk to you later.